Good? Oh, we're good?
I'm not muting you guys. Yeah.
No. Put Lynx Viral.
Okay.
Okay. Whose mic is who?
This is Julia. Right here.
Which one?
Right here.
Julia.
This one.
Okay, Julia.
This is Jaclyn. Hello.
Jaclyn.
Hi.
Jaclyn is that one? Okay.
B. Veronica.
Julia.
Julia. Oh.
Got it.
What's up, guys? We're here at the Lynx Viral Studio, and we're here with vegan culture. So we have Julia here as well as Jax, and I just want to say hi to them real quick and let them introduce themselves to all of you. So Julia, I'm going to let you start.
Okay. Well, I am part of vegan culture with my sister. We just promote the vegan culture lifestyle, and also we do a lot of nutrition planning and coaching, and yeah, that's what we're here to talk about right now.
I'm Jax. I'm a nutritionist, and my passion is based in nutrition, and obviously, and I love helping people achieve better health through plant-based nutrition. And I've been part of vegan culture for a while now, so we like to, encourage people to eat better and live a kinder lifestyle, and yeah, that's basically what I'm about.
I love it. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Veronica Singh, and I love actually talking to individuals like Jax and Julia, especially because of what they're doing with plant-based nutrition. And for those of you who don't actually know my story, I had a lot of gut issues, and I was able to heal myself, a lot of it through raw foods and a lot of what you guys are going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that you guys are here joining us to learn a little bit more about vegan culture. So if you want to share with everybody, what is vegan culture, and talk to us a little bit more about that.
Well, vegan culture is basically a brand that's all about helping people live a vegan lifestyle. So we have merchandise, but we also do a lot of content where we share like the ins and outs of a vegan lifestyle, like what products to get, how to shop, all of the ins and outs of it. So, and our basic goal is to kind of normalize the lifestyle, because it is pretty common nowadays, but I think there's still a lot of nuances about how to live it properly. And a lot of people are going vegan right now, and they want to know how to do it right. So that's what our goal is.
Yeah.
I love it. And do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, we are like, vegan culture to me is like vegan, but like not like the tree hugger vegan, which is still awesome, but like it's like vegan with swag. That's what
Yeah.
we do. So yeah, that's what we showcase.
Yeah, that was a good way to put it. We do a lot of content on our channel, so we are pretty active on social media. And I think that one of our main ways that we like to reach people is through our videos on YouTube. So we'll do a lot of nutrition related videos, but we'll also do lifestyle videos where we go and check out, vegan restaurants, and we get people to get an inside look at what it's like to be a vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Mm-hmm. And would you say that for viewers who want to subscribe to you and just learn more about you guys and maybe even follow your progress, what is the best way? I know you said YouTube, but are there other channels that you're also a part of?
Yeah, Instagram is Vegan Culture Co. And YouTube, of course. Those are our main channels. You can also follow us on Facebook at Vegan Culture Co. Twitter is Vegan Culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
Love it. Get on the IG, guys. Find them on IG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I love something that you said, Jax. You were talking about getting to more of a plant-based diet, and also talking to people about how to get started the right way.
Right.
And I know I'm a person who made this mistake. I actually attempted to go vegan for about a week, and I think by like day 4 or day 5, I felt like I was ready to just keel over because I was low on energy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I probably wasn't doing it the right way because I didn't have somebody coaching me or kind of educating me. So do you want to talk a little bit more about why it's important to have a proper plan or attack?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that having somebody as a support system is really key. The thing is with vegan nutrition, even though it's been around for a while, I think a lot of people we have a title and it's called vegan, and it's in other parts of the world where people follow a plant-based diet, it's not called vegan, so there's this title. So it's making it more complicated than it really is. And so I think that when we can make it more normalized, it kind of takes away the barriers, like the mental barriers.
Yeah,
So
I would say it's so ironic, really, that everyone doesn't really, like, they're lost on how to eat. And it's a new lifestyle, though. That's the thing. That's why it's so difficult sometimes for people, because it's like you have to change your mindset as well. So it definitely helps to have someone guide you through it, and I think that's the case with most people. Like, they want to start, and then they just get completely lost and demotivated because they're like, what do I do? Well, it's literally just like going back to the basics. Like, think of all the stuff that grows on the earth and just start from there. That's the way I like to look at it. But, you know, it's always good to have like a nutrition coach or something like that. That's why I think what we offer is so cool, because like, who gets to get coached on what to eat? Like, that's just awesome to me.
I love it.
Yeah.
that's because you love to eat.
Yeah, I do love to
Who
eat.
doesn't love to eat?
Yeah.
If you don't like food, I don't know why you're here
Yeah,
right now,
I know.
because
Yeah.
I think we can all say we're foodies around here.
We're gonna be talking about food, so
I
yeah.
love it.
But that's really key. I think that like when someone makes a huge change like that, and it is a change because food is a major part of our life. It's so rooted in us that we have an emotional connection to it and a subconscious connection. We don't realize that it's that deep, but it really is. And when we switch and we start adopting a different lifestyle and we start eating different foods, we kind of feel lost, but we also feel like we're missing something, even though that's not the case at all. We're not missing anything, but it's like we're just not used to it yet. So I know that when I went vegan, I didn't even go by the term vegan. I literally just started eating a plant-based diet, and I felt so good. And then, you know, like maybe a year or two down the road, that's when I realized, okay, this is a vegan diet. It's a plant-based diet. But I mean, that's the thing. I think that the titles do kind of cause, you know, some challenges, I guess, mentally. But I just think that everybody needs a support system, because when I went vegan, I definitely had a support system that helped me achieve it a lot easier.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're right with sometimes there's like a stigma.
It is,
And obviously me not coming from 100%, you know, plant-based, I do eat a lot of plant-based, but not being 100% there. I do remember at one point, so this is what I would love for you guys to correct, even for some of probably the viewers here.
Yeah.
The stigma that I always remember people talking about is that vegans really don't eat meat because of, you know, hurting animals. And I get that could be one reason why, but I think there's a lot more to it than just the cause of hurting animals. And so if you want to speak to that a little bit, I think that would be awesome to even clear up for some people who don't maybe understand that.
Right.
I think, like, that is very true. It's not just for the animals. Like, for me, I went for, like, I'm thinking, like, what can I do to optimize my health? Because I had her on my side. Like, who has a nutritionist as a sister?
Yeah.
But there's so many reasons, and we find new ones every day. Like, this one guy told us yesterday that he went vegan. Just, it clicked to him when he got bit by a spider. Like, something
so
just
random.
told him. But there's so many reasons, environmental reasons. You want to help the earth, health reasons for the animals. There's so many reasons. And it's funny because you said something about meat. And it's funny because I feel like a lot of people think people are vegan or plant-based, whatever you want to call it, because they don't like meat. I would say 90% of people who went vegan, it was not because they didn't like meat. It's just because they decided to make the change for environment, health, or the animals. Because everyone liked, I went to Burger King like every day. Like, I loved it. So there wasn't just like, oh, I don't want to eat that because it's disgusting. I don't think that's the case for most people.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the veganism is an ethical standpoint, and ultimately that is the foundation for a vegan diet. That's really the fallback. But a lot of people adopt a plant-based diet for health, and that's what I did. When I first went plant-based, it was just because I wanted to correct my digestive issues, and it fixed them, you know, so that was great. And then, of course, I stuck to it. And then once I learned about, you know, like the ethical aspects and implications, that's when I was like, oh, I'm a vegan.
Right.
Yeah.
It changed. It was like a turning point almost.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
I was like,
you
oh my
learn
gosh.
something new every day. Like, literally, something new about, like, what your motivation is to stick with it. So
Yeah.
it's really
That's really cool. And do
Yeah.
you guys, would you say, being that you have like a culture, it makes it even easier to stick to it?
Yeah.
Because you have like a community with you?
Absolutely. Especially with like social media nowadays, you know, back maybe 10 years ago, it was probably a lot more difficult for people because they just didn't have that support system. And like, I mean, of course, if you have the ethical foundation, you're probably not going to, go back. But it's so much easier when like you can go and talk to your friend who's a vegan and like just chat about food, and like it's really fun. It's really motivating just to have a community of people.
Yeah, and I think for me, the way I look at it is like she said, like 10 years ago, we did not have so many like substitute products, so like vegan meats or cheeses or ice cream or anything you think of. And so I think that's a big factor in what helps people, because everyone is so used to eating like that anyways, like eating fast-paced fast food, junk food, everyone loves it. So it's so much easier now to make a switch, because they're like, okay, well, if I like ice cream, I can just have this kind of ice cream and I don't have to worry about whatever else is in the other stuff. So
yeah, that's a good point.
I think that's a major factor in the community aspect of it.
Convenience.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a point I was going to bring up earlier. It's like the thing that makes it difficult for a lot of people is that they feel like it's not as convenient. And of course, when you make any lifestyle change, there's going to be a little bit of an inconvenience at first.
Sure.
But then you adjust. So you adjust after, I would say, usually a couple weeks. You kind of get the hang of things. And then eventually, once you make it a lifestyle, you're like, this is so easy. I don't even know, I'm not missing anything. Everything is right here at my fingertips. So especially with the new, like all of the vegan products, which we're not huge advocates of as far as health aspects, but as far as the lifestyle, at least people know that they have something to purchase. They can always go to the grocery store and find, like she just said, like ice cream or something that they want to indulge in. It's there, and it's not like, oh, I have to eat salad all day long because I'm just a vegan and that's all we have to eat.
I'm probably the only vegan I know of that enjoys, like, I could eat salad all day and I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one. But,
I heard something crazy too, and I don't know if this is accurate, but I remember somebody saying that Oreos are considered vegan.
Oh my God, they are. Yes.
I feel like that's touchy.
Oh,
though.
there it is. Yes.
It's touchy because, yes, if you look at the ingredients, there's no dairy or eggs or meat in it or animal products, but it's like not healthy. But it's like with the vegan lifestyle, there's, like I was saying, people go for different reasons. So it's like, are you vegan for health? Are you vegan for this? Because the people who are vegan for like the environment and the animals, or maybe just the animals, they would eat the Oreos. But someone who's really focused on their health would not eat it. So I think it's just the way you look at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Technically they are vegan because of the ingredients though. So yeah.
And I think this is a good transition into the topic to talk about what's the right type of like nutrition plan. Right? Because again, there is a difference, like you said, people who are doing this more for a lifestyle and to be healthier versus those who maybe are doing it for the ethical reasons because they love animals. And I get it. You're not wrong either way you choose.
Right.
The intention.
I think it's about finding, it's about finding what best suits your lifestyle.
Right.
So as we kind of talk about that, do you want to share a little bit about what's the importance of having a proper nutrition plan, and maybe where does somebody start in doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. We are advocates of a whole food plant-based diet. So that doesn't include Oreos. However, every once in a while we do, of course, allow somebody, if they want to go get some cookies, go ahead. I mean, it's not going to kill you. That's all part of the lifestyle in the end. But we are advocates of eating as healthy as possible. And the foods that grow from the earth are what we are proponents for. So our meal plans are all whole food based. And I think one of the centerpieces of a standard diet, even if I would say for any kind of diet nowadays, is meat, and that's the centerpiece generally. And it's just because people are so like focused on protein, and I think a lot of the misconception comes from plants don't have protein, which they have plenty of protein. So we basically help people transition out of that whole like mindset. So.
So yeah, I would say, like I said earlier, think of all the things that grow from the earth, like nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables. There's like so many things.
Yeah.
And start there, because that's whole foods. And I feel like most people know if you eat something that grows from the ground, it's gonna go through you well. So that's the way I look at it.
Without being graphic.
Your body recognizes it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Your body knows what a whole food is.
Exactly.
Versus something
An
that's
Oreo.
processed. Yeah, an Oreo.
Right.
There you
Yeah.
go. Let's use the Oreo.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we definitely we want people to eat as many fruits and vegetables as possible. we also teach people not to fear sugar in its natural form. Of course, fruit is the healthiest food you could eat, even though there's a lot of fear around carbohydrates. Sure. And that's another thing that we touch on a lot is reducing things into macronutrients, which macronutrients aren't food, they're part of food. And if we keep thinking of food as macronutrients, then the problems come up and we start getting a lot of these problems like deficiencies and things like that because we're avoiding whole food groups. So with a whole food diet, that includes all macronutrients that come from these foods. So we, it's a carb heavy diet. It really is. So, I mean, if you look at the macronutrients of a whole food plant-based diet, you're probably going to get a lot of carbs and a lot of fats, and you're going to get enough protein, plenty of protein. It's probably going to be a lot less than someone who eats, meat or something that's extremely high in protein all day long, but that's fine. We've seen in so many population studies, not even population studies, but even randomized controlled studies that people who consume the least amount of protein have much better health. So, I mean, there's a lot of benefit to it, so we definitely want to make sure people know how to do it the right way.
Yeah, I'm all about concepts. So, like, if you think about it, you're gonna get protein if you're eating. And if you're not eating, you will deteriorate. You will lose protein. So it's as simple as if you're eating it, you're going to get it. But it's very easy to get enough protein and also nutrients when you're eating whole foods. Like, that's another thing. It's not just about protein, it's about nutrients. And I think people need to focus on that more than just protein. Because that's going to come with it. Anything you eat has protein.
Right.
And I think some of your services even include, obviously, setting up the right nutrition plan, coaching and stuff like that. So I believe you have a few new things that you're coming out with.
Yeah,
talk
we
a little
do.
Bit about that?
Yes, we have 3 meal plans right now that we're showcasing. So they are all dietitian and nutritionist created. So you can be assured that you're going to be getting all the nutrients that you want from your diet and you're not deficient in anything. And that's something that a lot of vegans or new vegans are kind of concerned with just because they haven't navigated through this lifestyle yet. So they're like, where are my nutrients coming from? Like, where's my iron and my calcium and my protein and my B12 and all of that stuff? Where's that coming from? So we help people get all of those things. We do have 3 plans. We have a high protein plan for people who, feel like they need more protein, especially endurance athletes. They do a lot better with that. Anti-inflammatory and a fully raw. So those are our 3.
Fully raw, that sounds intense but amazing.
Yes.
And I know raw is good.
Yes, delicious recipes.
Yes.
It's a lot. It's funny when you look at raw recipes, they look so good. And it's like, oh my God, I want to make that, but I don't know if I have the patience. And like the plan that we have does show like a lot of really cool and a lot simpler recipes than people would think.
That's the benefit of raw. Like, you just like throw everything together.
Yeah.
And you just go.
And actually, that's funny because the raw plan actually has, I would say that has the best recipes out of all of them. But all of the plans contain really awesome recipes that anybody can follow. They don't contain like crazy ingredients. You just can go anywhere. You can go to whatever store you go to, you can find your ingredients there. And every plan comes with a shopping list. So you're basically set. And it also comes with an app and an online account.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
Yep.
So you get not only just the information, but you also have the support to go with it, which is so important these days. I think that's the hardest part. And I know that personally because when I went throughout this journey of healing my guts, we're talking about gut issues. And my nutritionist, she walked me all through all of it and kind of taught me what to do. But the biggest piece was having somebody there to talk to the support.
That is key. And that's what we offer. We're all about support. So we want to make sure that when somebody's going vegan or they're just trying to eat a plant-based diet or more plant-based, because we help everybody. So no matter what your goal is really, we want to make sure that you have support throughout the whole time. So that's what our nutritionists do. So they help you, they keep you accountable, and they make sure that you're getting the results you want.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And what would you say, and I know everybody's body is different, but one of the biggest things that I personally learned, even just about the gut, is 95% of your serotonin, which is the happy chemical, for those of you who don't know what serotonin is, lives in your gut. And so I want to talk about this a little bit because I think a lot of people don't understand this. Knowing that most of your serotonin lives in your gut, this is why it's so important to get your gut in order, because how many people do you know today, viewers that are watching this, how many people do you know that are suffering with issues like anxiety, depression, or maybe they're just moody, or they go through bouts where they've got the high of highs and the low of lows, which could be coming from a sugar rush or whatever the case is. So let's talk a little bit about everybody's body's different, but what are some of the benefits that you've seen people get from switching to some of these nutrition plans that you have and going more plant-based?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. A lot of people like discount diet when it comes to like especially mental health, your mood. And of course we can all agree that your food affects how you feel. But the microbes in our gut are literally key to everything. And so one of the benefits, I would say the main benefits of our plans is that they're so high in fiber, not too much overloading fiber, and they can all be customized, but the fiber is what breaks down into butyrate, and it is what helps create all of those great hormones. So, and it helps with inflammation. So that's one of the main benefits. And usually when people switch from a high protein diet to a more whole food carbohydrate dense diet, they experience a lot better mood, better energy. Of course, their digestion improves. And then that alone, I think that a lot of times people don't realize how backed up they are.
Yes.
And that will definitely, that will affect your mood. We've worked with a lot of girls that experience that. They like don't use the bathroom for weeks.
That was
it
me.
happens. Yes.
I did not go. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. We're talking about this. It was so bad. I didn't go to the bathroom for 2 weeks at a time.
Oh my goodness.
I know someone just like that.
And it was crazy because I thought at the time I was like the only person in the world who had this. And then I started to heal, right? And as I started to share my story, I would meet people who said, oh my gosh, I'm just like you.
I
oh
know.
my gosh. And you realize, and you don't realize that these things are happening because I don't think enough people are talking about
They're
it.
not.
That's what I'm telling you. I said this in our last live. I love talking about the whole bowel movement situation because I'm an advocate for females that it's because it happens to females more often than men because I feel like there's like girls put a stigma on themselves like I can't poop. I have to say it around anyone or themselves. Listen. You can use the bathroom whenever needed. And the best part about eating more plants is that even if you feel like you can't, you're going to go inevitably because it's going to be pushed out of your body anyways. So that to me is like huge benefit.
Yeah,
like,
you need to go. Like stop trying. You know what?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Where does it go?
a lot of times, I think the reason why this happens, I mean, there's a number of reasons, of course, it comes down to diet.
Sure.
But we're so obsessed with like the way we look and like having a flat stomach all the time and, you know, making sure we look right and just all kinds of unnecessary pressures we put on ourselves. And it causes us to eat really bad, and we definitely don't get enough fiber. I mean, we can all agree on that. Like, our society gets not enough fiber at all. And you can't use the bathroom if you don't have any fiber. I mean, it's extremely hard. So that's the thing. If you're not eating the right foods, if you're not eating whole foods, it's going to be putting unnecessary pressure on your butt.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question, actually.
Yeah.
About the transition of helping your gut and going through that. Did you ever feel like at one point, your stomach was so full of fiber that like you felt like oh my god, this is just too much or something like that? Because I know some people go through a stage and they think that it's not working and they're like, oh, I'm getting worse, but really it's like clearing out of your body. So I was just curious if you ever went through that.
I think personally for myself, I didn't. I noticed after about a week of it was obviously eliminating dairy, eliminating sugars, and adding in, I did some juicing and then raw fruits, vegetables, that type of stuff. And after the first week, I noticed I was going to the bathroom regularly.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was also overweight by, at the time, over like 27 pounds, but it's because I was so inflamed.
Right.
And we were talking about what happens if you don't go to the bathroom. Well, I was already starting to get symptoms of what they call adrenal fatigue.
Yes.
Because it was in, you know, taxing, I should say, my adrenals, causing me to like feel faint in the middle of the day. And a lot of people don't realize, like, I didn't correlate the two.
Right.
I had seasonal depression when I was younger. I had all these things, but I never correlated them to a gut imbalance.
Yeah.
And then as I started clearing up the issue, and no, I didn't have, you know, the issue with the fiber. I think I was just so full of toxins that when I started alleviating it,
Your body was just like,
you just felt better immediately.
Immediately.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
I was like,
awesome.
hallelujah.
Yes. Yeah, back on the health thing, or mental health thing. It is really important though, because like we said earlier, when your body processes what you're putting into it, it's automatically happier because it's an easier digestive experience for your body,
Right.
and you get more nutrients faster anyways. And like, I don't know if you've heard this, but a lot of people say the stomach is actually the first brain, because it has to deal with everything, and then it distributes it. So yeah, I think it's really important what you put into what you eat, and also what you say to yourself. Everything, what you put into your body, no matter what it is very important for your mental health. So.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like, we have a lot of different benefits, but digestion is definitely the first thing that people see usually when they get one of our plans. And I would say there's a number of things, but decreased blood pressure. If your blood pressure is high, adopting a more plant-based diet definitely helps with that. If you've got high cholesterol, of course, the fiber is going to help get all that extra cholesterol out of there. There's a number of different things. Energy-wise, people definitely experience a lot more energy.
Sure.
And I think it's because people just aren't eating enough, and they're not eating enough whole foods, especially fruits, because we're so afraid of sugar. So, yeah, again, we try to make sure everybody's eating as many fruit and vegetables as possible.
Yeah.
I think it's good to make that awareness too around fruits and the sugar, because
Right.
I know that even people I've talked to who just talk about what they eat, they always say, oh, I got to avoid that because it's high in
Yeah.
sugar. But what people I don't think understand is, well, a fruit, they have all these phytonutrients in it
Yeah.
that you're not going to get from a processed food.
Right.
So can you speak a little bit to that about sugars and fruits and why it's not
Yeah.
as bad as some people make it out to be?
Yeah. So fruit contains fiber. So the fiber is what basically slows down the absorption of the sugar, which is great. So you can get a lot of carbohydrates, but it's not going to hit your bloodstream like Coke would. Like high fructose corn syrup, it's funny because they'll do a lot of studies on high fructose corn syrup, and then they'll compare it to fructose. And those are not the same thing. And it's funny because this is just an anecdotal story, but this happens a lot with people. If you have blood sugar issues and you start actually eating more fruit than you're used to, you would think that, oh my God, I'm in danger because my blood sugar is going to be through the roof and then I won't be able to process it. Of course, this is true if you are like type 2 diabetic. But this guy was a type 2 diabetic, and he started eating a lot of fruit. He said he started eating more fruit than he has ever had in his life, and he was actually measuring his blood sugar. His blood sugars ended up being in the normal range pre-meal. So it was like blowing him away. He was posting it on Facebook. He's like, you guys won't believe this. I ate all this fruit, and my blood sugar is so good right now. And eventually he started reducing his insulin, and he was at his lowest insulin. So it's a misconception. And it definitely is fueled by a lot of propaganda. So when we see studies, they'll come out and then writers will take advantage of them and write a huge inflated story on it when they're not even experts in this field, So they'll just publish it and it makes everybody freak out. And of course, we're going to blame the good food rather than the actual problem,
It's easier.
It's easier. Because these products want to make sales. These companies want to make sales. So
Sure.
what's going to happen if we, promote fruit? Like, they're not going to say, oh, fruit's bad for you. Like, there's not a fruit industry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, per se. So,
And I think another thing is with fruit, they tell you that it's like gonna make you fat or whatever, but a lot of the time when your body is so clogged up with just toxins and like just things your body can't recognize, the sugar is not gonna process correctly,
Right.
unless your body is cleansed enough to where it can like use it optimally. So that's another thing to think about, because if I feel like everyone should just go on a cleanse first and then
Sure.
and then go into it, because you will notice the positive effects of plants so much faster, and then you'll realize what they
idea-
were saying was a lie.
yeah, my idea of a cleanse is more of like whole foods. Like, that's kind of how when we say cleanse, we kind of mean like, what is the best way to eat? We try to optimize your eating habits, kind of getting like all that extra sugar from like processed foods out of there and all the other like the oils. And like she said, it's really a matter of if your body's able to use the sugar that you're eating, because a lot of times people will blame sugar. And of course, everyone blames sugar because it's everywhere. Sugar's bad everywhere.
And everyone loves it.
And the thing is, what's actually happening with these metabolic issues is that when you have sugar in the bloodstream, if you have lipid particles, like excess lipid particles in the bloodstream, you cannot actually get the sugar in your cell. So it will block the sugar from being absorbed. So that leaves your your sugars elevated, and then you have a problem. And you know, doing this over and over and over, on top of having like other things like a lot of heme iron and things like that that are killing your pancreatic cells, that's going to create a problem with your metabolism eventually. So the thing is, like, when we put somebody on a nutrition plan, we kind of like lower their fats, because generally they are pretty high. A lot of people are doing a lot of oils, a lot of saturated fats, and when you reduce those and you eat more carb foods, you actually metabolize those way faster than you would. So you actually burn through a lot of that sugar that would be like otherwise left in your bloodstream. Yeah.
Wow, that is informational.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't learn something from that, you must not be paying attention. That was good. I mean, it's important. I'm glad that you guys touched on these things, because again, like I say, I think it's a big misconception to people out there. And I know we could sit here and talk for hours about everything that these gals are doing. I mean, it's, again, it comes down to a lifestyle, and I know we're going to be doing more of these, but I'd like for the two of you, if you can, before we dive off, like, leave some last parting words for individuals. How can they get in contact with you if they want to learn more about your nutrition plans or even like your program? What's the best way to get in touch with you, and what would be like your last word of wisdom that you would leave to your viewers?
Okay. Well, I think my last word of wisdom would be, I don't know, there's so many good ones. Feel amazing and your life will change. If you start to really focus on the way you feel, your life will change. And then you're gonna start eating better. And it's not as hard as you think it is. It really isn't. If you start adopting better habits, your life will change. And you can definitely go to veganculture.co and we can help you with that.
Or mealplansplus.com is our website for the meal plans and nutrition coaching, so you can definitely go on there. Or you can message us on Vegan Culture Co. or Meal Plans Plus, or just our personal, Julie, Rochelle, and Jaclyn Tiffany. But my word of advice is, like, on top of what she said, take control of your life, and you can start with food first. It seems like the hardest, but once you get into it, it's the easiest thing, and it's the most rewarding thing. So take control of that, and also, if you gotta go.
Yeah, that's a good that's a good piece of advice.
It's very
You can
important.
also find the Meal Plans Plus. There's a direct link on veganculture.co. So if you just go there, it'll say Eat Right or Eat Plant-Based on the top, and then you can look at our meal plans there, our 3 meal plans. And if you guys want to go ahead and, you know, take advantage of those, just go ahead and sign up, and we'll be in touch with you.
Or watch our YouTube videos. Vegan Culture.
Love it.
Yes,
you guys
please.
are incredible. And you have such high energy. Like, I just thank you so much for
thank
being
you.
here.
Yes, thank you.
I'm so glad you guys did this with us.
Me too.
And again, this has been Vegan Culture here at the Lynx Viral Studio, and I'm going to leave you one more word of wisdom, and this is from the wise words of Hippocrates, which is, let food be thy medicine. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you all on the next live stream.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Do we have, we could actually go into live questions.
Did we want to do questions?
I don't know.
I was like,